Start planning today to celebrate the 40th Equip Exposition Trade Show this October 17th through the 20th in Louisville, Kentucky. Expo is the best place for landscapers to find the latest equipment, tools, and technology to get more productive and efficient. And then you can go into our 30-acre demo yard and test the products for yourself. Explore new business opportunities in one of our 50-plus education sessions and learn firsthand from experts in landscaping, hardscaping, irrigation, pool installation, tree care, and outdoor lighting. And don't miss the new Thursday night arena concert with Third Eye Blind and Dylan Scott. Also, there's our UTV test track and our main stage events with top-notch speakers like Brian Fullerton. And remember, you can save 50% on the ticket price with Brian's discount code. We've provided a link for you in the show description. See you at Equip.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys. Good morning. Super excited about bringing you guys another great guest interview. If you guys have been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you kind of noticed that we have like a rotation between guest interviews, personal podcast episodes where I just, try to give some thought process or rant or maybe even complain about what's going on in my life. And then we like to mix it up with guest, solo show, guest show, solo show, guest show, solo show. And it kind of breaks it up. So it's not just all solo shows or all just guest interviews. And frankly, I love having you guys on the show. So many of you guys reach out via email or Instagram and have a great story to tell. And although a lot of us get started very similar, how our business develops, in our 20s and 30s drastically differs from, one interviewee to the next. And so I love hearing you guys on the show. If you guys ever want to reach out, feel free to do so. We'll do a little vetting, make it make sense, and see if we can get you on the show. But today, really excited about having my friend Broc join us on the podcast episode today. He's joining us all the way from Madison, Wisconsin. Broc Damon. What's going on, brother? Good morning.
How's it going?
Good,
nice
man.
Talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How's everything going on the west side of the fronts of the Midwest, man, over there in Madison? You guys mowing today, or are you guys already plowing snow yet, or how's that going, brother?
No, we're just sitting here. I do a bunch of the hardscape side of things, so we've been in full swing this entire summer. Been kind of an interesting summer as far as the drought goes. I mean, it's been dry out here, and
really,
I know a lot of the contractors out here, as far as the lawn care side of things, have been kind of going back and forth, and it's been kind of a struggle, but I mean, we're hanging in there. And as far as the hardscape side of things, it's been in full swing. I mean, we've been getting projects done, and it's been going good. Okay.
So you guys, you're by the way, you're 22 years old, I think you were saying, and then are you living at home, or you got your own place, or what's the story there?
I got my own place, so I actually moved out of my parents' house at about 20, and my dad actually owns a bar here in Wanakee, just north of Madison, and they had a kind of a community area up top that me and my girlfriend actually ended up turning into an apartment, redid the entire thing, flooring, everything, and it's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah.
Saving on as far as rent and everything goes, and we're planning in the next probably 2 or 3 years to end up buying some land and building a house.
Nice.
So it's definitely something that helps us save. And I mean, it's a cool little place. We redid the entire thing, so it's up to date and everything. So
that's
nice.
Awesome. Well, plus, I will always tell people the best chicken tenders and French fries are always at the hole in the wall bars, and so my family has a lot of background in restaurants and bars, admittedly. So I've had chicken tenders from all over the world, man, and bar food, chicken tenders, and beer pretzels are always the best, So
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they have some little eateries down there in the bar, but hey, if you're getting a late night craving or whatever, I'm sure the bar's open till 1 or 2. So
Yeah. That's the only downside of things is you get a little noise, but I mean it's not too bad. It's capable, so
that's cool. That's funny, and but it's working, and it's working for you guys. So, well, you have a really interesting story and kind of a fun conversation here. Is you were, and help me out, piece this puzzle together. But you were working for somebody, and now you're deciding to start your own thing, or what? How'd you get started? I guess with your company this year.
So, I started about a year and a half ago. As far as getting into the whole landscape side of things, probably when I was 16 years old, actually, my sophomore year of high school, I ended up that summer starting up just some lawn care contracts and started mowing lawns, and did that for a summer. Really, really enjoyed it, but then was always in sports, so it was really hard to kind of get in a full swing with it. Mm. And then coming out of high school, really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew somewhere in the trades was what I was looking for, just because school wasn't for me. I mean, always enjoyed it, just wasn't for me. And so I ended up going into HVAC and did a bunch of heating and cooling stuff, commercial side of things, for about 2 years. And then just the path that I was going down as far as where I saw my future wasn't where I wanted it to be. Mm. So I ended up talking to my friend's dad, who's really good family friends with us. And he owns a landscaping company for well over 20 years. And I just reached out to him, and I was like, is there any chance I could join in and everything? I'm really not liking where I'm at right now. And so I started up with him, and now I'm at the point where I'm learning things. He's teaching me a lot of the business side of things, and learning as far as new things in the industry as far as paver patios, all that sort of stuff. And I figured I'm at my point of life where I've learned it and everything, and I wanted to just kind of slowly ease my way into my side of the business. Mm-hmm. And so I'm now going into my own company with the snow removal. I'll still be working for him in the spring and summer for landscaping next year. And my goal is to open my own side of the landscaping in the spring of 2025. But I'm really getting to my own side of things as far as the snow removal goes this year.
That's awesome. What's his name? What's his company? If just to give him a shout out, say thanks for all the help. What's his name?
It's SC Landscaping. It's Shane Ziegler. He actually kind of went on his own this year. So last year, he owned Pinnacle Landscaping, which was a well-known company around my area for, like I said, 20 years. And his partner ended up wanting to go into the office kind of management side of things. So they ended up splitting up, and now he has his own name, which is SC Landscaping for Shane Ziegler.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, I'm sure breaking off and getting that company going could always use some fresh legs and some muscle, and perfect timing if you were looking for a job and an opportunity there. Now, elephant in the room, does he know that you're starting to do some snow on the side? Like, is he cool with that? Or did you tell him, hey, I'll do this for a couple of years and learn, but I want to do my own thing ultimately? Or what was that like?
Yeah. So going into things, I told him right away, I was like, I'm looking to get into landscaping, but my whole overall goal, like most young people, I guess you could say, is to start up your own side of things, or start up your own business. So he knew right away that in a couple of years my goal was to open up my own thing. And he doesn't actually do much snow in the winter, so he just does one apartment complex through another contractor. So he just gets subcontracted out through one apartment in the winter, and kind of talking for a month or so. And I'm like, you know what? kind of the whole goal as far as the winter goes and everything. And he's like, yeah, I could maybe get you on for a couple jobs or anything. But then just kind of talking and everything, it just didn't seem like I was going to be filled up for the winter and everything, or my time wasn't going to be 100% there. You know what I mean? Just, I wanted something that was going to be kind of full time plowing in the winter and everything. So he's like, yeah, I mean, if you want, you can go for it. And I don't mind that way, just because he doesn't do much of plowing in the winter anyway. So he wasn't too worried about that. So that kind of sparked my drawing and just going into it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, are you doing any lawns or landscaping on your own, or do you have like a full 40 hours with him and then you're launching your snow side of your business this fall, winter? Because you said you started your company 18 months ago. So what does that look like day to day? Like how are you balancing both?
So yeah, I'm working full time with him, spring through fall. We're working a good 40, 50 hours, with him and everything. And then, I am doing, a few to side jobs, like through family and friends, here and there, as far as like the hardscape and landscaping side of things go. Cool. But, yeah, I'm going full into swing as far as my own company for the winter goes.
So before we started on, the podcast, just getting to know each other a little bit more, you were really excited about breaking into snow plowing, and that was some of the questions that we had back and forth on Instagram. So what's the obviously the income is a very appealing side of the equation here, but what makes you want to get into snow plowing and snow removal and doing the whole deal?
I would say the one thing is just getting my own company started up. That definitely is a huge draw and everything. And as far as building that kind of clientele before I start fully launching into the landscaping side of things, is a huge draw. I think kind of starting out slow with where I'm at and my age and everything. If I get that clientele and do a good job in the winter, that can lead to a lot of jobs come spring and summertime. Mm-hmm. And then also, like you said, the income type of thing, or income side of things is definitely a huge thing. Just making extra money in the winter. I know there's a lot of money to be made in snow removal. So that definitely was a huge draw for me. And I know kind of where I'm at right now. I put out an ad on Facebook, just on my personal page, and then I had my dad advertise it as far as the bar's Facebook page. So, I mean, I got a few residentials here and there, and then in the process of bidding out a commercial job two commercial jobs right now. But I'm kind of trying to get more as far as into get more contracts and everything. But I definitely think the income side of things and just starting out my own company is a huge draw, is why I chose to do it at this time. Okay.
You know, and an interesting thing is I like where you're coming from with you can start building something on the side. Because once you do lawn care landscaping, it's really hard to do something 40, 50 hours a week for somebody else and then 10, 20 hours a week on the side and kind of like, you know, work a part-time jobs, part-time business. But in the winter, especially if you're not, you know, on a 40-hour work week schedule, it's really easy to start getting those snow clients, especially if your other company doesn't offer that or is, you know, doing a soft layoff for 3 or 4 months. You can start building this on the side. And then like just to zoom out, I feel like it's a lot easier to get lawn and landscape clients than it is snow. But yep. I think what cuts the knees out of so many folks, and maybe you guys listening in can relate, and I know this to be true for ourselves, was we always have a good 8-month window of income, and then we live on ramen noodles for 4 months in the winter. And it seems like if you could solve the 4-month winter equation for income, then you are kind of defaultly good to go for a year-round income, because again, it's much easier to get lawn care customers and landscape clients, in my opinion, for the other 8 months of the season. So you're kind of like doing it backwards, but I think that's actually kind of an interesting and cool conversation, because again, if you can lock down 4 months of winter income, and it doesn't have to pay for a year's worth of bills, but if you can, solve that 4 or 5 months worth of winter income, and then if you want to break off and do your own thing in spring of 24 or spring of 25, at least you're not freaking yourself out in October, November and saying, oh my God, I got 1 more month left of income and then this thing's going to go back to crickets. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Is this making sense?
Yep. Yeah, that's making sense.
Yeah, I love that. But by the way, for some of you guys listening in that maybe are looking to run your own business, or you're trying to leave a good career or a good job, it's the same conversation in the summer of getting the boat close to the dock, as some people have coined. Like, hey, you're making 40 grand a year with your job, but you got a 20 grand a year side hustle. It's not 1-to-1, right, necessarily, but at least it's better than starting at zero where you just tell your boss, peace out, Cub Scout. I would not encourage anybody to do that. But one thing I will tell a lot of you guys listening in, like, you're like, well, I do landscaping. I want to do landscaping. I don't want to do mowing. Well, that's fine. Like, why don't you get 100 aeration customers lined up in the spring and 75 aeration overseeds in the fall? You could do that outside of a job on nights and weekends for, a 4-week window in the spring, a 4-week window in the fall, and generate, again, 15, 20, 30 grand of repeatable business. And then that way you have just a whole nother service to launch with. And again, backfill with mow clients, backfill with landscape jobs. So there's always a scheme or there's always a hustle that you can get this thing going while still not, burning the bridge or shoot the winning racehorse, as my friend Caleb calls it, which is maybe your 9-to-5 job. And people are like, jobs are bad, jobs are stupid, they're for losers. And I'm like, I'm so grateful for the job that I had at TrueGreen for the 18 months I worked there, because I was able to build a book of business for 20, 30 grand a year of gross revenue, which was peanuts, but it was still a lot of money. And I'm sure it's still a lot of money to you guys that are, in that same boat trying to get your thing started. You're like, I'd kill for 30 grand worth of business outside of your part-time job. Like, and some people are like, well, I don't, I hate the attitude of like, I'm just going to mail it in at my job. I'm like, I did so good at my job. So if I did need to take a day off or leave early or not work a Saturday because I had my own stuff to do on Saturday, like I did a really, really good job Monday to Friday and tried to like bless my employer with excellence to get the opportunity to go build my my side hustle, nights and weekends for that year and a quarter that I was doing it before ultimately they let me go, but I was really, really grateful for that steady paycheck, even if it was peanuts. It was something I could at least bank on so my life wasn't chaos for, 18 to 24 months. And that sounds kind of like you're in the exact same boat, dude.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to get that kind of, like you said, side hustle down and build that clientele, get that income kind of steady in. And, like you said, once I'm at the point where I feel like I'm ready to go on my own, then I will, it's just, I want to kind of slowly go into the side of things as far as just building just a small base, and then eventually build it all up once I go all into it. But, I'm trying to get the steady income for the winter at least, just to get by. And I mean, a lot of the times guys do well more than just getting by, it's kind of how you all go into it. But I'm just trying to get a steady client intel, is my whole goal right now.
I love it, man. I love it. What have you done so far, and how's it going with getting your own snow customers? I guess that would be a fun, conversation there. Is it crickets? Have you signed a couple on? Are you getting some residential driveways too? How's your snow business forming up? This is your first year going at it all in, it sounds like, but any progress, any luck? Is the phone ringing?
Yeah. So, like I said before, I did that Facebook just post on my personal page and had probably 15, 20 people share it out on their own page as well. And then also had my dad post it on his bar Facebook page as well. So at first, I actually just did this about week and a half ago. And the first couple of days had a lot of people interested, emailing, texting me, giving me a phone call. And I have currently 7 residential contracts. And then I have 2 commercial contracts that I bid out about a week ago, and they're going to get back to me here in the next couple of days, which I'm assuming most commercial contracts have multiple companies that bid it out, and they just look over what their best options are and everything. So hoping I can get that, but I'm really hoping to get more residential contracts and maybe a commercial contractor here and there. But
sub out a little bit.
My whole kind of question, I don't know kind of where to start as far as marketing the whole snow removal and the best way to get into that contracts type of things. You know, I know the Facebook helped, and that was through a lot of family, friends, or people that knew each other. I just don't know what you would say the best way to go as far as marketing goes for snow removal.
Yeah, that's a good question. We've done some podcast topics, but if I had to riddle a few ideas off just shortly here for all of you guys listening in, and maybe you guys are new to this conversation too, I always go back to my core blocking and tackling of football. Like, if you need to get a first down, it's run the ball, at best short passes, and it's not sexy, but it's going to get you, to first down. And people that are like, and people that get fancy with their marketing are throwing for the Hail Marys. And yes, they got a touchdown one time, and sometimes they build their guru life on that, but that's not traditional business. Everybody's got the big fish, but you get one big fish. Okay. Like, you need the regular short wins that get you to the touchdown. Okay. And I will tell you, anybody just, pontificating here, ranting Brian, but anybody who tries to sell you or convince you that you just need to make Hail Mary passes in your life and look for big wins exclusively, is trying to sell you something. That's a horrible approach to life. It's a horrible approach to business. Don't do that. Slow and steady wins the race. It's true in business. And I'm always looking for those big wins, those big multipliers, those big acquisitions. Of course, who wouldn't be? But day to day, that's not what 99% of life and business is about. So in that regard, it's the postcards, it's the yard signs, it's the nominal Facebook ads, an AdSense, Google, whatever they call it, Google AdWords ad, having your Google My Business listing set up, having a quality website. That's very simple. It's not just have a website, it's having a quality website that's intentional. And we just talked about that a couple weeks ago with my brother from Branded Bull. Like, some people have websites that are 20 years old, haven't been updated, or you don't even have a phone number listed or a submission form. If you guys have a website, a little self-check, and your phone number and your submission form is not in the top right corner, which is where it should be for every website. Like, you're kind of pre-programmed that way with every website, top right corner, submission form, checkout, free shipping offer, promo codes, all that stuff is in the top middle, or the top right. And so if I'm looking to check out, I go to the top right. If I'm looking to check my balance or change my account settings or my history or update my address, top right. And I can't even believe how many people put their submission form at the bottom of their website. Like, that's not people are on your website for 15 seconds. There's plugins. I have some plugins, extensions on our browser. And I know how people navigate our website at launchpreneuracademy.com. I know where you guys scroll to, I know how long a session time is, where people hop off. I know where people go to. I know the workflow. Like, we're crazy like that. And people just think like things is luck and you're just, passively waiting for success to happen. Like, find these logins, find these extensions. How are people navigating your website? And you can literally see how people scroll, with those cookies, and it'll give you a paint and a roadmap of how people navigate the website. It's the coolest thing ever. Okay. But to answer your question, to go full circle, Damon, is, yard signs, postcards, Google My Business listing, a quality website. People write off, cold calling or going door to door. Like, they think that died, mysteriously in like the 80s or 90s. That is so alive and well, it's not even funny. I have a great story of my friend Tyler. I need to get him on the show and he can tell it better than I did. But I might have said this once on a podcast episode, but he had no snow business lined up, talked to 1,500 businesses or whatever the story was, went door to door and commercial door to door, you know, all the different tech parks and industrial parks, and just stopped in and said, hey, my name's Tyler, TC. We do snow. Do you guys need snow? You know, short story long. No, yes. No, yes. No, yes. No, yes. And it was within like a 6-week window or whatever. He told me the story. He signed up 40 or 43, I think it was, commercial clients. And, you know, that would translate to, let's say, $100,000 worth of snow work, or maybe a couple $100,000 worth of snow work, depending on the client. And people are like, going door to door is dead. I'm like, that's absurd. So it's just, guys, life and success comes down to, if you guys remember any one thing from this podcast, life comes down to how bad do you want to go get it? That's it. Like, how bad do you want to go get it? And so if you don't have any snow work lined up and you're sitting at home going, man, the phone's not ringing, or the submission forms aren't coming in, then go advertise with postcards. Go take the battle to the front. Be offensive with your postcards, your yard signs. And while you have your mailer going out there and your yard signs are out on the corner at the local grocery store or the local bank, right? You should be spending that time in November. If you're not doing a leaf cleanup, you should be kicking down doors and saying, hey, do you guys need snow service? And if they already signed up in June with a big company, just say, hey, no problem. When do you guys usually make this decision? Hey, we talk in June. Okay, hey, can I come back next June? I don't want to bug you, but I'd love to submit a bid. Yeah, sure, we'd be open to anything. And you make a little note in your calendar, June 1, gives you an automatic reminder, right? It says bid A&E Industrial. And then you go back and bid A&E. This is what I do. This is what we do. This is what I do all the time. It's how I remember birthdays. It's how I remember people's names. It's how I remember certain dates or certain activities, or to go bid certain things. Open enrollment season for insurances or something like that. Oh, dang, I missed the mark to go register at someone thing, or change my XYZ plan, or to change this kind of withholding or whatever. Like, there's times when you got to remember to put those dates in your calendar and put them on automatic annual or monthly or weekly repeating reminders. So does that kind of answer your question? I know a little rant here 7 minutes later. But that's what I would do.
That 100% answers the question. I know I've had multiple friends that own a business, whether it's a painting company or lawn care, you know, all sorts of different companies. And I know every single time I've talked to them, they said door to door is their number one seller. Like, it doesn't sound like it's always going to be the best bet, but they said every single time you go door to door and talk face to face with someone, more than likely, I mean, they could tell you no, but there's a chance they could give you another chance next year. Like you said, there's always that interaction with being face to face compared to being over the phone or being on text. You know, it's just a different interaction. And I feel like going there, showing like you care, showing you want this contract, gives a little bit more of a chance to actually get it, rather than just talking over, you know what I mean? Talking over the phone or
of course
on email or something.
Well, and again, I love what you just said there. It goes back to having the interaction and being hungry for it, and communicating your excitement and visible body. Like you're there, you want the work, and you're not trying to sell them, but you're just saying, look, my crew, we're hungry for it. We could do a great job. I'm interested. That is 10 times more effective, even if it's a solicited drop-in. And maybe they're like, no, we're fine. Okay, but 1 out of 10 or 20 people will give you the audience and say, yeah, what do you got? Like, what's your name? What do you do? How much you charge? What do you think? Now, I will say, if you guys do that, like, have cards in your pocket, or have a binder if you got a proposal or a contract. Like, you could sign it on the spot. You can literally say, like, hey, I'm not here to sell on anything. I just, no, we want to bid. Like, actually, what would you do this? Like, do you want to bid now? Do you want to talk numbers now? Or do you want me to send you something and I can walk the site by myself? Or if you guys want to walk with me, be prepared, because if you do that, 1 out of 10, 20 people will 100% take you up on that offer. And those people that you meet are very intelligent people typically, and they will say, yeah, what do you got? And if you're like, well, maybe 50 or maybe 150 or maybe 450, like, you better know. It doesn't mean you need to like know that site, but you better know what your base is for an acre. Hey, we do 245 a plow. We do 45 for a driveway, bulk salt. We do 240 a ton. Have a site just like yours across town on our typical snowplow setup. I think it's between $8 and $11 grand for the budget for snow for the year. Of course, we can always sharpen the pencil, make sure that we're on the same page. I don't know. Are we in the same ballpark? Because I just want to make sure like we're on the same page here. He goes, yeah, I think we were paying something like $7,400 last year, but the guy stunk. So we'd be happy to, pay 15% premium if we're going to get the job done, and be happy to try a new vendor. Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, we're full service, just to throw it out there. We do lawn, we do snow. So hey, if you guys give us a crack at the snow and the other guy's not cutting the mustard, we'd be more than happy to carry that conversation on and continue the partnership year round. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I know we're definitely, they've not been doing a good job on the mowing. So like you just keep that conversation going. One other quick thing I just wanted to mention, not to rant or talk too much on this one, but is I get a lot of work through networking. And we did a podcast just a couple of weeks back on networking. You will get a lot of business being subbed out or subbing other friends out. And I didn't know how much opportunity was available to me. I literally get an email from 3 or 4 different companies right now, big property management companies. I'm sure there's hundreds of them. But I'm getting 5 sites a week right now in my greater area. Unfortunately, 1 in 10 are probably in my service area because I'm very niche and very picky. But if I decided to grow like a regional business, I'm like, oh my God, there's $1 million worth of business that is bids that have come across my desk in the last 60 days. No joke. And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, it's so wide open out there for anybody who wants to build a real company and put in the work, put in the effort, put in the infrastructure, find the right people. I told my wife, I'm like, there's $1 million that crossed our desk in bids that's just like 5 different people that have came to me. And I'm sure there's hundreds of property management companies. So your friend, SZ Landscape, I think it was, right? Or something like that. And then even the company that he used to work for, like what I did a podcast. I said in the networking one, I said, find rich people, find successful people and go up to them and solve their problems. So if your other friend has, the bigger company that your friend even moved away from, just say, hey, I'm taking on some commercial sites this winter. What do you not have time for? Like, do you have anything over in Madison area that I could manage for you? And he's like, oh, dude. He's like, and you don't know. He could have lost his number 1 Madison subcontractor guy 3 weeks ago, and perfect timing. And you walk in there, and he's like, dude, I got 6 sites I can unload to you right now. And you just walked into $25,000 worth of work. Boom! You just solved all the stress of not having winter income. Just got solved in one handshake because you decided to take action and not sit at home watching stupid ass TikTok videos. Like, but instead people sit at home all day listening to TikTok videos from gurus. And I'm like, the answer is not on social media. The answer is at the end of your hand. It's called at the end of your arm. It's called your hand, and it's called shaking hands and making friends and drumming up business. That's real business. That's real. Can I get an amen from anybody listening in? Like, that's real. That's real talk. It's not learning from more guru-ness on social media about how to grow your business. You're not growing your business being on social media. You're growing your business by making friends and shaking hands and networking and actually submitting bids. That's how you grow your business. Like, get off social media, for crying out loud. Anyway, and rant. I don't know. Does that help you out a little bit more, brother?
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that definitely gives me better side of things and everything, and what to look for, and just a better path. I know I'm just trying to get more info as far as what's the best way to go into it, just because I know I have a general idea, but it's always good to hear from obviously you and other people that have been in the business for years and years. It's what the best, like, just straight up point to go into right away when you're starting. Well,
in full disclosure, guys, we were talking before we started the podcast here, and Broc was like, hey, is there a way I can ask a couple questions about snow? And I said, yeah, dude, I'd love to solve some questions, or maybe questions that you have other people have questions on here as well. You know what I mean? So, admittedly, I went a little long-winded there because I know Broc was looking for some meat and potatoes here. So, so little inside baseball. He's like, hey, can I ask some general questions too? Maybe if it helps me, it can help some other people. So I was like, dude, let's talk sales and marketing. I'm all about that life. Let's do this. We're already at a half hour here, and I got another appointment coming up. But I want to give you the last kind of couple minutes here, maybe to wrap up the show. Where are you looking to go long term with the company, just in general? I'm really excited for you. You got your company started. You picked up the whole ball of wax last year, you were saying, because you wanted to start investing in your education and Of course, appreciate the support, and I'm hoping all the resources there are helping you get this thing together and getting it moving for you. Where do you want to take your company, broadly speaking? I know we're kind of pitching and catching back and forth about snow, but what do you want the company to look like in 2 to 5 years? What's the grand plan? Why do you want to start this thing? Where do you want to take it?
So my whole goal is to kind of start out slow and everything. Maybe have 1 or 2 crews come the start as far as the landscaping side of things go. And then eventually my goal is to, if the work keeps coming in, like it usually does if you got the right mind and everything and you're out there and you're doing a good job. But if the work comes in, my whole goal is to start branching off, maybe get into lawn care or maybe get into, different sides or different departments. Here in probably 5 or 6 years, I'm wanting to have at least 1 crew for mowing lawns, 1 crew for doing the hardscape as far as paver patios, retaining walls, that type of side of things. And then maybe never been huge and never really invested into it or anything, but maybe a side of the department that does pesticides, or that side of things. I know I'm wanting to really kind of generally have the company be landscape, hardscape, but then eventually in 5 or 6 years go into the lawn care and those other departments is kind of my main goal. But I would say to have at least 3 or 4, 5 crews, in 5 or 6 years is kind of the whole overall goal. And eventually get me maybe, let's say it's 10 years down the road, but eventually have me do more of the office side and bidding side of things rather than being actually into the physical field,
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome, man. So a medium-sized company, 5 to 10 guys maybe, and doing $1 million or $2 million.
Yep. That'd be the overall goal. And who knows, if things really go off and I'm at the point, maybe it's 6, 7, 8, 9 crews. You know what I mean? It's kind of
wide open.
Got to feel it out and everything. But my overall goal is to have at least 5 or 6 crews, in 5 or 6 years where I got that steady income and I got a good set of people where I can rely on. That's kind of my main worry is I know there's people out there that do want to work, but I want to have it where I've always been the type of guy where I want the best work to be done. And I'm a hustler as far as making sure it's done right. So it's always kind of a worry as far as quality. If I have another crew, is it going to be the right quality on where I want it, and
that's a forever problem for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but my whole goal is, like I said, 5 or 6 crews here in 5 years.
All right, man. Well, you put it out there in the ethos, so we're going to hold you accountable, So, I'm just kidding, bro. and like you said, that'll change 20 times in the next 20 years. Okay. So it's 1 minute you want to be small, the next minute you want to be big. Then when you're big, you're like, maybe I want to be small. And then you decide instead to go really big. Yeah. Nobody's going to hold your feet to the fire. But we do expect you to grow. We do expect you to make more money and impact more lives. That's something that we do charge everybody listening to the show, like be a more effective human being. I was just on Jeremiah's podcast with Growing Green Landscapes. We were talking about we do challenge you to grow. It doesn't always have to be income or revenue or profit or this, but be a better person every day. Okay. That is something that we do charge you guys with. So I'm excited for you, man. It seems like you got a good vision, a good, goal, as well for yourself, and wish you the best with this winter coming up, and keep in touch with me personally, if you don't mind. I'd love to hear how winter goes for you. And anytime you start getting some subcontracted accounts or some new commercial accounts landed, post it on IG, and I'll be the first to high five you, man. So that's awesome. Where can people find you, man, as we wrap this thing up?
So currently right now, I just have my personal account, which is Broc Damon, BROC, and then DAMON.
Okay.
But I'm kind of in the process of starting up an Instagram, starting up a Facebook, and starting up that website. But I do currently have an email, which is damonlandscape@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then I have just my phone number and everything out there right now. But I would say in the next 3 or 4 months, I'm going to have the full social media side of things up there, and people can reach out to me and everything. But I don't mind if people reach out to me here on my personal account.
Yeah.
Whether it's direct message or email or anything. So if anyone does have any questions or any advice, I'm always open to hearing from people.
Yeah. And also if you're in the local Madison, Wisconsin, and then what's the town that you're actually in, or the city you're actually in, you were saying?
It's Waunakee. It's Waunake. It's 15 minutes north of Madison.
Okay. Well, cool deal, man. Well, if anybody's out that way, reach out on IG and try to link up, network, and maybe somebody out there's got a good sized company with some snow accounts that they want to sub out or unload onto you, and you can take that up, man. So that's awesome. It's all about networking. But all right, man. Well, that's what I got for today's podcast episode. This was good. I love talking about snow, and we just did that bidding podcast episode on Monday. If you guys missed that one, it was all about how we price our snow. Literally, I had no less than a dozen people, and I don't do it for attaboys. I couldn't care less. It's nothing like that. But I had literally a dozen people say the best podcast in months, like the most value added, money, dollars and cents, how we actually make money plowing snow. I got a local big dog company, regional guy, Matt with Clippers. He runs the plow right, the marking stakes. And he's like, I can't believe you gave all that away for free. And I'm like, that's what we do. He's like, dude, that's awesome. I said, how do my numbers compare to yours? He goes, I need to raise my rates. So it was funny, but of course he's got multi-million-dollar company. And but that's the thing, dude. We're all learning, and I'm just like, who talks about it? Who's sharing their numbers like that? I just struggle to find anybody as transparent as that. And I know people put out a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are very transparent. But I'll tell you, arguably almost anything other than like, you know, what I exactly make in my total life. I'll share pretty much any other detail with you from either business all day, just because nobody shares, man. Nobody shares. Like I said in another podcast, we're helping everybody who's in the middle get to the top, you know, including guys that are, you know, from the 0 to 100K level and all the above, but nobody talks about the middle. So that's what we're trying to do with our podcast. So, Broc, that's what I got, man. Thanks for joining us on today's show, brother. Super appreciate you calling in and spending some time with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's what we got for you on today's episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's Lawns, Lessons, Life. In 2023, we're helping you guys grow a more authentic, real lawn and landscaping business to help you guys grow. We cannot thank you guys enough for listening in and supporting the show. Last minute, just housekeeping. Get your tickets for Lawntrepreneur Academy Live. A couple weeks left for the pre-sale. Can't wait to have 300 plus of you guys here in Novi, Michigan. If you guys need any last minute tickets for Equip Expo, promo code Brian saves you guys 50% there. I think they're only $25 down with that code. Can't wait to see you guys. We'll do an Xmark booth meetup. I think it's 2 p.m. on, I think that's Wednesday. And then we got 2 p.m. I think for Energize on Thursday. So a lot going on. But just want to say thank you guys so much that, you know, reciprocate with the Brian's 10 code with all of our affiliate brands and all that other mess. If you guys enjoy the show, thank you guys for supporting those sponsors, using the code. All that kickback goes right into creating content and taking care of Mr. Producer, who is ever so grateful to still and gracious to still put our show together for us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys. So that being said, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and we look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
Hey, what's up? It's Keith Kelfiz. Get your tickets now for the 2023 Lawntrepreneur Academy Live this November 11th in Novi, Michigan. If you want to upgrade your lawn care business, this is the place to be. It's going to sell out wall to wall. So get your tickets now at lawnpreneuracademy.com. I'm going to be there speaking. It's going to be an amazing event. And if you've never heard of Lawntrepreneur Academy, what, have you been living under a rock?
Start planning today to celebrate the 40th Equip Exposition Trade Show this October 17th through the 20th in Louisville, Kentucky. Expo is the best place for landscapers to find the latest equipment, tools, and technology to get more productive and efficient. And then you can go into our 30-acre demo yard and test the products for yourself. Explore new business opportunities in one of our 50-plus education sessions and learn firsthand from experts in landscaping, hardscaping, irrigation, pool installation, tree care, and outdoor lighting. And don't miss the new Thursday night arena concert with Third Eye Blind and Dylan Scott. Also, there's our UTV test track and our main stage events with top-notch speakers like Brian Fullerton. And remember, you can save 50% on the ticket price with Brian's discount code. We've provided a link for you in the show description. See you at Equip.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.